So to begin playing your E major chord, first of all, pick up your guitar, stand it upright like this, have a look at your strings and have a look at the diagram that's popping up on the screen now. You can see that the strings are going up and down the page on the diagram. The string that's closest to the roof when you're sat with your guitar is over on the left hand side of the diagram, just like it is when you pick up your guitar and look at it in front of you. Now you can see on the diagram that right at the top we've got some zeros. That means that you're going to play those strings that the zero is written above, but you're not actually going to press the strings down with your fretting hand on your guitar. So straight away we can see that when we play this chord, we're going to play the string that's closest to the roof, which is the E string. We're going to play it and we're not going to press it down. Now if you look over onto the string that's next to that, you can see that there's a black dot that's written on that string. Now if it's a black dot on a chord diagram, it means that you're going to play the string and you're also going to press it down using one of your fretting hand fingers. For most people that's a left hand, but I'm not left-handedist, that might be a right hand as well if you're sitting with your guitar the other way. So press down that string and I want you to use the second finger on your left hand. So that's usually the longest finger, that one there, your middle finger. Don't count your thumb, you've only got 4 fingers. So going from your index finger, that's finger number 1, your little finger is finger number 4. So we're doing our second finger there. So pick up your guitar, press down your second finger on the string that's the second one down from the roof. Remember, as you hold your guitar up normally, that's the second one across from the left hand side. Now you're going to press down that string in the second fret along your guitar. So again, with your guitar upright, you can see that that's your first fret, that's your second fret. Just like on the diagram, the dot is in the second fret down. So press down that string with your second finger. Now at this point, pick your E string, that's the one closest to the roof, and the A string that's directly below it. If you've got your second finger pressing down in the correct place, it should sound like this. Always practice a new chord by playing one string at a time. That way you can really check if any notes aren't quite working. For instance, you might get this to begin with. If that happens, make sure that you're pressing down the string as close to the actual metal bar as you can. That metal line there, that is the actual fret, not the space in the middle. So when we say the second fret, we want to be pressing down that string just behind the fret. Can you see how you can still see the fret there? If you put your finger on top, you're going to get a dull sound. That's what you want. You might also find that you get lots of buzzing the further your finger goes away, like that. Anyway, let's carry on. Again, looking at your guitar, the next dot that we've got on the diagram is on the D string. So just on your diagram, it's the third string over from the left hand side. Just like on your guitar, that's the third string over from the left hand side when you've got it stood up like this. So pick up your guitar, third string from the left hand side, it's the third one down, which is your D string, this one here. Now follow that string down on the diagram and you can see that at the bottom of it there is a 3. That means that you're going to use your third finger. So get your third finger, press it down on that third string down, and you're going to press it down in the same fret as your second finger. So you can see there, it just needs to sneak underneath it. Now you'll probably find that to make that finger go on, you've got to slide that second finger a little bit further across like that, further away from the fret. That's okay, it's impossible to get your fingers perfectly positioned right up to the fret. Just try your best. Pick your strings, we've got 3 strings now, E, A, D. Make sure that they all ring together like that. If this happens, it means that you're not keeping your fingers pressing down. If you're finding it hard to keep them pressing down, there's a good chance that if you're brand new to guitar, if you've only been playing for a few days, weeks, you're probably not used to pressing down all your fingers yet. Make sure that you've got your thumb around about halfway down the back of the neck like that. Shouldn't really be sat on top yet. Keep it on the back like that. And make sure that when you're pressing down with your fingers, you're also pressing with your thumb. You should imagine that you're trying to kind of put your fingers and you're trying to squish your fingers and your thumb together like that through the guitar neck. So we've got 2 out of 3 fingers pressed down now. We've got 1 left to go. So what we can do now is, again on your diagram, we're going to be doing the final black dot that we've not looked at yet. This one is actually closest to the right hand side of the diagram. So just like when you've got your guitar sat up, that's like the string that's closest to the right hand side over here. So count across from the right hand side. We've got 1, 2, 3. That's where the black dot, the last black dot is. It's on the 3rd string from the right hand side. Now when you've got your guitar up normally, that means that it's the 3rd string up from the floor. So look at the diagram again. You've got your black dot on there. Look at where on the guitar the black dot is. It's now in the 1st fret, which is here. So it means you're going to be pressing down that string in this 1st fret. Follow the line down, the string down, and you can see it says 1 underneath. That means you're going to be using your 1st finger to press that down. So let's put this all together. Put your other fingers back on, try and remember where they're going. Should look like that. Remember, these are in the 2nd fret, like that. The next string is in our 1st fret, which is this one here. Get your 1st finger, should be there. Press it down on the 3rd string up from the floor, and again it should be in the 1st fret, there. Now, again remember, it's the 3rd string up from the floor. 1, 2, 3. So pick that string. Hopefully it sounds something like that. Now, what you've probably got to begin with is this. That awful sound that you're going to grow to hate. Hopefully we're going to be able to fix it, though. You want to turn it into that. Now, if you are getting that muted sound, what's probably happening is, could be a couple of things, but the first thing most people do is, not actually the 1st finger, which is pressing down the string. That's not actually the problem usually. It's normally the one that's the other finger that's next to the string. So that would be this 3rd finger here. Now that finger is probably leaning over like this and stopping the 3rd string up from the floor from ringing. If that's happening, let's check a few things. First of all, make sure your thumb is nice and low down the back of the neck. Make sure it's about halfway down like that. If it's on top, what tends to happen is, watch my fingers now, that's pretty much perfect where you want them to be. As my thumb goes higher up the neck, my fingers wrap around the guitar like that. You see they're laying across the strings now like this, which means that they cover up other strings. So keep your thumb about halfway down. Whenever you change something like this when you're practicing a chord, if you've changed your thumb now, keep picking the string that wasn't working. As you slide your thumb down, you see it's working now. If it works, if that's it, brilliant, you've done it. If it's still not working, try taking every finger off and then put the finger that was the last one you were practicing, put it back on. That's our 1st finger. And pick the string. Make sure that you are actually pressing down the string close to the fret and that you're using the fingertip. Can you see how there's a line left on my finger there because I've just been pressing it down? You should be using the fingertip to press down the string, like that. Not your fingerprint, your finger should be bent like that. So keep pressing down that note, keep picking it, put your other fingers on. Okay, if it's working, brilliant. If it's still not quite working, make sure that you're still pressing it down hard enough. That should be enough to get this chord working. Right, once you've got those fingers on, pick your strings one at a time. Remember, we started off by playing the string closest to the roof. That's open. It's got a 0 written on top of it, or an O. You can call it either way. 0 fret or O for open string. Pick that. Pick your A string, D string, G string, and then to finish off, you can see on the diagram, all the way over on the right hand side, we've got 2 more zeros. that's the B and the E string, the two strings that are closest to the floor. You're going to pick those as well. If on the B string that's happening, then you've probably got that same problem we tried to fix, where your fingers are leaning over. What will be happening there is your first finger is probably like that. It's probably leaning over a little bit. So keep your thumb low. That'll allow you to get your finger on its fingertip. Also, make sure that that finger is not too close to that string. You can actually lift your finger up like this, watch me, and watch the gap between it and the string above. See, it gets smaller there. Lift it up. Lift it away from the string that it's touching, like this, see? Lift it away from it like that, and that could be just enough to get it working. Right, if you've gone through this whole video, that's 10 minutes, well done for practicing that. It does take a while to get this chord to work. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. It is difficult. It looks easy when you can play it. But keep at it. Everyone's hands are a different size. You don't need long fingers to be able to play this chord. You know, I've not got massive hands, but I can play this chord okay now. It took a while to practice it to begin with, but just keep going with it. Keep picking one string at a time. Make sure you're pressing down quite firmly with all of your fingers. Make sure you've got your thumb nice and low. I don't know if I just said that. Make sure you're using your fingertips to press down the strings. Make sure that the fingers are as close as you can get to the fret. Not like that. You shouldn't have a massive gap here. And that should be enough to get it working. Right, once you've played that chord, have a look at another chord that can go well with it. That could be A major and D major. A good way to practice this chord is to practice playing E, and then practice sliding your first finger along the string and changing to your A major chord.